executed. To be medically curious is a dangerous pursuit. 1,200 years ago, the people of Tibet developed a comprehensive medical system. They understood how the mind can powerfully affect the body. They knew subtle ways of changing the body's chemistry with medicines made from plants and minerals. In Europe in the 17th century, to be medically curious is a dangerous pursuit. At the same time that European doctors are defying the church by secretly dissecting bodies, and herbalists and midwives are burned at the stake, medical knowledge is flourishing in Tibet under the direction of the 5th Dalai Lama. Over the centuries, Tibetan doctors acquired a vast knowledge of plant habitat and medical uses. From tonics for the immune system to sedatives and antiviral compounds, they learned how to purify and combine plants to treat a wide range of diseases. Even though over 1/3 of our own pharmaceuticals are derived from plant sources, there are still many secrets to unlock from centuries of Tibetan botanical knowledge.
How dare you! I am the voice of the church.
But the Tibetan medicine of Lhasa and faraway Burachia were to be tested by a new god of scientific socialism and progress.
You have all been found guilty of witchcraft and consorting with the devil.
Stalin's purges in the 1930s release an inexplicable brutality on a massive scale. Monasteries are burned to the ground or reduced to rubble. Religious manuscripts and relics are looted and destroyed. Buddhist leaders are executed by the thousands. In March of 1959, the Chinese army invades Tibet. The people resist occupation and are crushed by Chinese troops. 100,000 Tibetans flee before the invading army. The Chinese demolish over 6,000 monasteries and temples and systematically destroy medical texts wherever they find them.
Buddhist doctors believe that the healing they offer their patients is part of their own spiritual growth, a way to practice compassion on the path to enlightenment.
Much of Buddhist heritage has been dismantled or destroyed. Buddhism's ancient synthesis of priest and healer doesn't always coexist easily with communist ideology. Only a few of the highly trained Emchi Lamas had survived the brutalities of the 30s, and Buddhists were still considered class enemies by the Soviet state. Some Buddhists say that their book of medicine came directly from the Buddha or dropped from heaven here in the Yarlung Valley near Lhasa. Others with a more historical bent point to Tibet's first great king, Songtsen Gampo. Under his auspices, Tibet held its first international medical conference in the 8th century, inviting physicians from the neighboring countries of India, Nepal, Greece, Persia, and China to share their knowledge. Traditionally, 2 or 3 of the brightest monks from each monastery would be chosen to study at a medical school in Lhasa. Over the years, these monk doctors traveled across the Tibetan plateau, spreading their medical knowledge and their Buddhist faith throughout Central Asia. They expand Tibetan influence north into Russia, establishing thriving Buddhist communities in Burachia, the region around Lake Baikal, between Mongolia and Siberia. The Tibetan culture takes root, expressing itself through the Buddhist religion and a uniquely Siberian variation of Tibetan culture. These intricate paintings represent a blend of Buddhist spiritual teachings, a complex medical science, and an elegant art form. These paintings were made with a remarkable insight into how the human brain absorbs knowledge. They're a visual record, created to pass along a vast amount of information in logical groupings. In Dharamsala, the spiritual and physical elements of Tibetan medicine remain inextricably linked, but China and Russia have sought to sever the bond.
Buddhism and Tibetan medicine go together. They are inseparable. Other people may think differently, but I believe you have to know the foundation of Buddhism to understand the foundations of the medicine. You need to understand it with your body, your mind, and your soul.
The Atlas of Tibetan medicine was once suppressed by revolution. Now, all 79 paintings are available as digital files on the internet.
How dare you? I am the voice of the church.
You have to know the foundation of Buddhism to understand the foundations of the medicine. You need to understand it with your body, your mind, and your soul.
You have all been found guilty of witchcraft and consorting with the devil.